Okay, everybody, we're here. Let's see if we can get something up and get it going.
Looks like we have quite a few. Doug and Stacy, Nicole, Ruffhewn, Wayne's Country Living. Hey, name change, like it.
Like that. Wallace Knife Works. All the different channels are starting to pop in.
Amanda said she was here with her notebook. Yeah, Amanda was going to bring her notebook.
Yep.
Go for Green. I just saw him.
Yeah.
Doc. Yeah, let's see.
Good deal.
Big Creek, Grizz, Cat Landrum, Christine. We've got quite a lot here tonight.
Got a good bit. I like the selection of channels that's coming on, because tonight that's what we're going to be talking about, is actually about
channels.
Yes. I mean, that's going to be the basis of it all tonight. It's going to be about channels. And to all of our Messianic friends, shalom.
And we do want to ask you guys if you will put everything you want to ask us or say to us in all caps so we can pick it up, because with these new glasses, they're driving me crazy, and that y'all getting a glare, I know, but it's hard for me to see the comments and answer you guys and keep up with what's going on when it's like this.
Yeah.
So first off,
we're going to talk about the weather this week. These weather people, I guess that's the only job in the world, and if any of y'all are weather people, I'm sorry, but I guess it's the only job in the world that if you don't get your job right, it just really doesn't matter, because you can't control the weather, you know? So
you can say the wrong thing and you're still right.
You're still right. Jay Wallace asked, how's the flooding here? There is no flooding here. They told us to prepare for a good probably 8 inches of rain. And the bottom line is we got less than 3 inches of rain, which I am extremely thankful, because
it was a slow, steady rain.
Yes.
It's what we needed. It was wonderful.
It was actually wonderful. Watered the place really, really good. I mean, we ended up with, everything worked out great. The only issue we had, we woke up this morning to a feeder band coming through with about 30, 35 mile an hour winds. And it blew some of my corn down in the field. So Wanda and I, when the rain let up, we had to go to the fields and chop the stalks off and drag this corn to the barn and get it hung up in the barn where it would be drying out so we wouldn't lose it.
This is an ongoing thing for us. This corn is like his baby.
This corn's my baby.
For the last 2 weeks, about every day, he's going and getting some of the corn. And you got to know, for y'all that don't grow very much corn, we probably have went and got 200, 250 ears already and hung it up. There's probably 2,000 or 3,000 ears out there. So to give you an idea of why we keep going back, we don't have the room to hang 2,000 or 3,000 ears. So we have to do what we can, let it dry, and then go get more.
Yeah, well, it's just an ongoing process with us. Those ears are so heavy, and when that wind comes and the stalk starts drying, they just break over and fall to the ground, and we can't let them lay on the ground because they'll mold and ruin, plus the rats or anything else is liable to get them.
And a lot of people are saying they've had a lot of rain and different things in different places, and several people have mentioned they got their corn, so that's awesome. If anybody did not get their corn, give it about a week.
Yeah.
And if you did not get your corn, please let us know, because we shipped out so many. We spent 2 days, the first of the week, about nearly an hour in the post office for 2 days, and then we've been back a couple of times since. So you guys just let us know. We really, really, really appreciate that. Y'all were just overwhelming with the corn.
Yeah, it turned out really well. I mean, our whole thing was to bless y'all with what we had here, instead of just letting it stay in the barn or in the corn crib or something like that and just let the animals eat it. So we shared our corn with everybody, and we're enjoying that, because our biggest thrill is going to come next year when we see people growing it
in other
places and see how it actually works in other places. I mean, that's going to be our
James Humerick wants to know what crops we'll plant here. Well, we won't plant till late September.
Yeah, we won't plant till probably mid to late September.
And it'll be the normal things, greens.
Well, it's going to depend on the weather. That's going to be the biggest issue. If it's still hot, we're not planting nothing. I'm just gonna be honest with
Because
you.
we planted last year, late September, and we did not get any cold weather, maybe
No.
8 days all winter. The bugs got everything bolted. We got very little compared to what we normally get. This year it may be a hard winter, so.
We don't know. We won't know until we try.
We'll try carrots.
We do carrots, tender greens, broccoli, cauliflower, collards, kale. I mean,
A lot of greens.
all of your cool weather stuff we're going to be doing. But now this year, because we have the greenhouse,
Yeah.
we're going to be experimenting with a lot more stuff in the greenhouse just to see how it does.
Yeah.
We got so many people that said they've got the corn. I mean, literally.
That's awesome.
Person after person after person said they've got the corn, and I'm glad it made it to y'all because the Postal Service kept telling us that a lot of the stuff might not go through because of the envelopes that we had in, so we had to go and start buying new envelopes and repackaging it, and we had to shrink wrap it and stuff like that just to make sure it got through the system. So
you have Angel. If I cut my fig tree back to the ground this winter, will it? I guess will it come back down?
Do not cut it back to the ground. If you do, you'll only have sprouts. Put you some wire around it, and if you got to cut it back, get you some 6-foot tall dog pin wire or something other, and fill it full of hay or straw. And if you're gonna cut it off at least 6 feet high.
And then Sue wants to know, do we can greens? Yes, we do. I canned some kale. I've canned just regular tender greens.
Tender greens, yeah.
Cabbage, most anything like that we'll can. Homestead Quail says their corn came very fast. So they've got theirs too.
Yeah.
Zena wants to know how to get some. We have an Etsy store. It's Deep South Homestead on Etsy.
Yeah.
And so now we want to talk a minute about the Homestead Network and just kind of brief you guys on who is in the Homestead Network, because we're talking about channels tonight, and we wanted to start with the network. And
so what she's going to do is she's going to give you a list of the people that's in this network, and we go back and we watch all the channels, and what we try to do is the way we see your channel. I want you to understand, and no pun intended here, but this is the way we see your channel based on the content we've seen for the last month on what you put out.
What we were looking for was, we were talking about gardening. So we wanted to talk about gardening tonight. So we went back to all the channels. We did all the Homestead Network channels first.
Yeah.
And then we branched out because there are channels that Danny and I like that aren't in the network. So when we talk about some of the gardening channels and what we've seen on them, some of them are not going to be in the network, but we wanted to give you a brief rundown of our network channels so you guys can check it out. And it's thehomesteadnetwork.com. It lists the times, because I'm not going to tell you the times because I can't remember all of them. I think I do have the days written down. But to start off with, we have a new channel that is one of our kids.
Yeah, it's one of our kids.
We claim her. I talked to her this afternoon, helped her start getting set up, and I'm going to be talking to her again tomorrow afternoon. And it's Amanda from Freedom Acres. She's coming on Mondays, and you guys just check her out. She's a single mom. She does some canning, some gardening, and she has a greenhouse. That's how Danny got to talking to her to start with, was with the greenhouse. Then we have, on Thursday night, we have Grandpa's Farm. He's in Alaska. He's going to be moving to Ohio in a year or so, and you're going to get to see what he does. Yeah. And he's a crotchety old man. That's his words, not mine.
Yeah.
And just saying, we love you, Grandpa. You know that.
Grandpa's Farm is one of my favorites, I want to tell you.
He's about our age. Actually, I think he's a little older than us.
No, he's 58, I think.
Well, he's older than us.
Yeah, not much.
55, 56.
Yeah.
And so Grandpa's going to be, he says it like he means it. Okay?
I'm that kind of person myself, so I can appreciate that.
We kind of got it going. Then you've got our half-acre homestead. Mrs. Volte is in Canada.
Yes.
And now she's a wealth of knowledge. We check her out when we need to know something like oven canning and things like that. That's where we go, because Mrs. Volte just knows how to do a lot of things.
Yes.
Then on Fridays, we have Big Bear Homestead. Now, we've learned that Big Bear is very good at predator control, and he can make hats.
Yes.
Okay, we know that. Well, we almost know that. He's supposed to be
sending me a coonskin hat. When I get it, I'll say
then we'll say he makes hats.
But right now, I'm going to say he just cuts up a lot.
Yeah. But no, we love Big Bear.
I love Big Bear, yeah.
He's on, and he was filling in for 46 degrees tonight, I think. And Big Bear does do a lot of live streaming because he can't sleep at night. So if you guys want to check him out.
Yeah, while you're going through this, just keep where you're at, because a lot of people's asking a lot of questions.
Yeah.
One of them, I'm just going to break in here so I don't miss some of these questions. Somebody wants to know a good lettuce that doesn't bolt. I don't know if you were talking about it down south, but down south here, when we grow a lettuce that's not bad about bolting, we do the bib lettuces and the oak leaf lettuces and stuff like that. Those are the kind that we have the best luck with here to keep them from bolting. Let's see. Okay,
Brad's Tech Talk. Big Family Homestead on Thursdays does a Tech Talk. And I've got him written down, but I think I've got him written down on Sundays. I think I missed the Thursday night thing.
Yeah.
Anything else? Are you catching them?
Well, I'm just sitting here watching. Somebody asked one a while ago, but it's going to slip my mind. So
if you asked a question, re-asked, and maybe he'll catch it.
Yeah, I'll just catch it while she's going through.
All right, Go for Green Living. Okay, Go for Green Living. Daniel has a greenhouse, and this is like a huge greenhouse.
Yeah.
Plus he does, is it aquaponics or is that
Yes, he does the aquaponics. He does the one with the fish, I believe.
Or hydroponics.
Oh, it's aqua.
Okay. I get the two mixed up. So Daniel, I think I saw you on here a while ago. You have to make sure. The aquaponics, he raises the tilapia and stuff like that. So it's kind of pretty cool watching how he does those things. So I'm hoping he'll go more into detail and show the whole process.
Yeah.
So we can see from beginning to end with the tilapia. I'm really interested in that.
One of the things that we're doing here tonight is we're trying to show you with our channels is that there's a diversity of things on all of our channels that you can get something from each channel.
Yes. And then we have on Saturdays, they start off living like Claire. Now, Claire is a young teenager, a teenage girl.
Yes.
And she talks about her life. And so if you have children that are, I'd say preteens to 15,
16-year-old, yeah.
They would really get into listening to Claire. So, and two, the older people get in and talk. We miss her because that's usually the time we are feeding up and doing things. And so I haven't caught her but once or twice, but she's a very knowledgeable young lady. And then we have Off-Grid Kid. Now, Ethan's turned into one of our favorites.
Yeah, he's another kid going to end up being one of our kids.
Yeah, and he's walking you through his homesteading, his homeschooling.
His homeschooling and their farm life.
And they've just moved, and he's got chickens for the first time, and he's really excited about his chickens. And so we like Ethan. We like to pick on Ethan.
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty cool. And then we have Saturday starts off with, who did we start off with tonight? Somebody new. It was before DV. Oh, it was supposed to be 46 degrees north.
Yeah, but he didn't come on.
He wasn't on. Big Bear substituted for him tonight.
Yeah.
But usually it'd be 46 degrees north.
That's what blew me away. I listened to Big Bear tonight, and I was like, okay, I forgot.
Yeah, y'all messed my mind up, Big Bear. You got to straighten this out. But now 46 degrees north is in Alaska.
Yeah.
No, Canada.
Canada.
I'm sorry, Canada.
Yeah.
He's up north, way up north. We're way down south. And so with 46 degrees north, he has a lot of different things that we don't even think about encountering.
Right.
So it's awesome to see the difference between how far south we are and how far north he is.
Yeah.
And all the things growing and animals and things he has to do.
Thanks, Addicted Prepper. I'm glad it helped you out with the canning video.
And then DB Homestead. She's a new one that's just started a couple of weeks ago, and she talks about their transition.
Yeah, they're new homesteaders, are
Well, yeah, not too long.
To their area. They're new to their area.
They're new to their area and the things that she's encountering there compared to where she was at.
Yeah.
Yes. And then living on a dime. Now, if you need some frugal tips, living on a dime is it.
Actually, what we did last week at our church, we showed Mike's video on fear at our church last week. I asked him, could we do that? And the church was just ecstatic over this video, because I'm going to tell you, that's probably the gem of Mike's work as far as I'm concerned right there.
It was called Do Not Be Afraid,
Don't Be
Afraid, something like that.
I'm going to tell you what,
you can put it back up.
That was Christ and God honoring. It was very, very inspiring, and I'm going to tell you what, I thought the world of that video there now. That's the reason I had it put up in our church.
Yes, and I mean, he did a good job on that, but if you want to know Frugal, go to their channel. Okay, then we have us, of course. You guys, we're going to be talking about gardening. Don't go to all the others, go to us. No, I'm just joking. We're going to send you to other channels.
We're going to actually be sending y'all to different channels tonight.
And an American Homestead comes on after us. And we like listening to Zach. You can't see him, but we like listening to him.
Well, it's kind of like the old-fashioned radio, when everybody used to gather around the radio and sit there and listen to the radio. You could hear the voice in it, listen to the Grand Ole Opry and stuff like that. Well, that's kind of what it's like with Zach. You sit there, you don't really see him, but you get to listen, and your mind wanders back to those years, you know.
Yeah, somebody's wanting to know, Zena wants to know, can use canning video instructions for and can collard greens.
We will be doing that whenever we have them.
Yeah, I'd have to look it up, but yes, you can do collard greens, but I have to look up the time. You have to pressure can them. You cannot.
Right, you can't water bath.
You can't water bath.
It's got to be pressure can.
And Songbird, I love you guys. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Teresa says, I remember those days, Danny.
And Doug says, Zach has a face for radio. Yes,
okay, he does. I'm going to leave that between you two, but yeah.
But now, American Homestead has a lot of great videos up, and he shows you a lot of things on the homestead, and he is off-grid, okay?
2.67 acres is exactly right. We have the same thing going here. Our maple trees here are actually already, the leaves are already turning red. Our black gum tree leaves are already turning red and actually falling on the ground everywhere. The cherry tree leaves are actually turning and falling. So if everything goes according to plan, the way the weather looks, we may be 3 weeks early with everything this year again. So 2.67, yes.
Linda's Pantry said that all grains are the same time. You can them the same time. So thank you, Linda. Because I don't know exactly the time, but it's whatever it is, all grains are the same. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Do you have a pressure canner that you recommend?
Whichever one you can find, they are expensive.
Whichever one you can afford. Let me put it that way, because they are really, I mean,
I've tried different ones. I don't particularly, for my purposes, I don't like the one that has the lockdown thingies on.
Yeah.
But now I like mine just to slide on and you set the pressure on top.
There's pros and cons to each one of them. The kind we use has a gasket. The kind that you tighten and let things down it, you don't have to ever worry about a gasket. It'll last a lifetime. And Grandma, I am going to show that video on the clothesline as soon as we get a chance.
Yeah. Okay. And it was the kale video. Yes, you can use the kale video time and do it the same way because, like Linda said, all greens are the same.
Yeah.
Okay, and now let's move on to Sundays. We have Alderman Farms. That's a Mississippi channel, by the way.
Yeah, they're about an hour north of us.
Yeah, and so they do they do some gardening and different things like that. But Patty does the bread making. Yeah. She did. The woman does bread. I'm talking how many loaves?
She does lots of bread, not just bread.
20, probably 40, 50, 60 loaves, 100. I don't know. It's a lot of bread.
And she got it down. She got it down to an art. She's really good at it.
She's good at it. And Tommy is I don't know if he's a retired policeman or if he's still a policeman, but Tommy is a very.
He works for the law. He just works for the law. Now, somebody. The love of a lot homestead wants to know, what kind of wood stove do you recommend? We are in the process right now of changing out, going with an older Englander wood stove in our house here.
That's what we're getting. We're not positive.
We're not positive that's what we're going to get, but we're in the process of making a deal on an older Englander wood stove that you can cook on the top, but the pipe actually comes out the back because we don't like the ones that come out the top. We want one that comes out the back. So. Yeah,
and we've just really, we want to change out our wood stove because it's kind of small. And
we're looking for a wood stove that's a little bit more efficient than the one over you saw one to shoulder here.
This one back here.
That one back there, it does a good job. It's just that we're looking for one that that actually does a little bit better job than what that one does.
Yeah. And so let's finish up. We've got Big Family Homestead. Okay, he started this whole network thing.
Yeah.
And
Poor
Brad, he's got it all on his shoulders, and you guys, y'all got to give him a break, but not too much of a break, because he was really giving Big Bear and Mike at Living on a Dime a hard time. So y'all just give it back to Brad if you want to. That's okay. But Brad and Krista do a little of everything. They garden, they have animals.
They got animals, they prep,
got kids.
The kids is the biggest thing.
They got kids.
They got lots of kids. They got more kids than they got animals, I think.
I think so too.
Yeah.
But y'all
just saying, Brad.
Check Brad out.
You need to figure out where they're coming from.
And then Dirtpatch Heaven. Now Julianne has a variety of things she does on hers, and she also spins. That's one of the things with her. She spins, and I have never seen anybody do that before. And so she does a lot of spinning. She has the swales.
Yes, she does the swales. She does greenhouses.
Yeah, it's her greenhouse.
She does the quails, rabbits, ducks, goats. I mean, Julianne is a wealth of knowledge in a lot of different areas.
Yes. And then you have Off-Grid Nation. Anything you want to know about America?
Don't know about America or politics, just ask Tommy.
Ask Tommy.
Tommy don't mind telling you. That's one thing I like about Tommy. He just throws it out there. If it hurts your feelings, he'll just take it, go to another channel. I don't care, and I like that about Tommy.
And that's the one thing we don't miss Tommy. If we miss anybody else, we usually don't miss Tommy. We try to catch him because we really like him.
Yeah, I like Tommy. I like his personality.
So if you anything about what's going on in the world, you hit Off-Grid Nation.
Yeah.
Then we have Homestead and Onyx. Now Joe is really good with what he does.
Joe's the one that actually got me set up with the greenhouse system. He wasn't even aware of it. I actually went to his video and commented on it, and actually got hooked up with the same people that he did with his greenhouse, and I was able to put a greenhouse up because of it. And I want to tell Joe, thank you for that greenhouse, because his greenhouse is actually underground, which is awesome. I mean, I think that's just great, to have an underground greenhouse. It's kind of like, what's that they call it, a wapiti?
Wapini, I don't know, wapini or something like that. It's underground.
Yeah, and I like Joe because Joe does a lot of fine carpentry work, and that was kind of my specialty in life, was carpentry. So that's the reason I like Joe a lot. Yeah.
So these are the channels, and we're not going to be mentioning these all the time, but we wanted to mention them individually this week because we're doing some channels. But now we want to switch gears.
Well, but first, before we go into talking about these other channels, there's something that about our channels that I'm trying to figure out how to say this. Wanda and I are not content creators. That word keeps popping up everywhere, and it bothers me that people say that they're content creators, because to me that means that you got to go out and find something and you have to create some content to make a video. And if you're doing that, then you're actually not homesteading.
Well, not that you're not homesteading, but you're not showing all the issues.
You're not showing your real life on a homestead. Now, when you watch our videos, Wanda and I don't write scripts. We actually live. What you see with us is actual reality, because when Wanda and I, we get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, sometimes earlier than that. We eat our breakfast by 5:30 to 5:45. By 6 o'clock, we're outside in the field.
And Doug and Stacy do have a reality show.
Yes.
Okay. But we don't create the content.
We don't create content. We just take the camera with us and we set it up and we go ahead and do our work. Now, sometimes it may run for an hour, but... And
then I have to cut out like 45, 50 minutes.
Yeah, we just go through it and cut out what we don't like in it. But what you see with us is, it is the real deal. We're not creating content. We're not trying to write some sort of script to do word by word from or anything like that. You're actually seeing, I guess we say we're a reality show almost, because what you're seeing is actual reality.
And we don't do the bells and whistles. We try to clip the clips as good as we can, add a few things, but until we can get better at editing, it'll be what
I'm not worried about getting better at editing. I mean, what you see with us is what you get. I'm not about all the bells and the whistles and stuff like that. If that's what you're looking for, then you might need to go somewhere else, because I'm there about just giving you sheer knowledge, sheer content, and just giving you an honest answer. And if I don't know, I'll tell you I don't know. And if we need to look together, then we will. We'll look together at something other. And I'm hoping that that's what keeps us going, is
because we are just who we are, and we're going to have a little bit of help starting this week.
Starting this week, we are actually bringing in woofers this week, or a woofer this week, to this coming week.
We met with him today. We met with him a couple of weeks ago, and he came over today, and he has some knowledge of how to edit and things like that. So we're hoping to pick his brain and have him help us somewhat.
That's going to be one of our deals. You're going to be seeing this guy on our YouTube channels with us because he doesn't mind being filmed. He is from Mexico. He has a Hungarian background. His mother's Hungarian. And actually, his mother is encouraging him to come here and spend time with us because in several years, they want to be able to go back to Hungary and to live off the land. So they have chosen our place as a place to learn from. So we covet y'all's prayers as far as being able to teach this young man how to live off the land and learn some of the skills that we have here.
Yeah. Mr. Wallace on Wallace Knife Work says if he agrees with the editing. He said if he wanted to watch TV, he'd watch TV.
Yeah.
That's kind of how we look at it. We're trying to put out the best videos we can and do what we can. And
go back and check Etsy tonight. And we'll say this on the air. Check Etsy tonight. Donna made a comment in the beginning and it just popped back into my head that there's no seeds on Etsy.
Okay, we may have sold out. I haven't checked Etsy in several days, so I'm sorry. It's been about 2 days. If it ran out, I will put some more up later tonight or first thing in the morning if I think of it.
Sullivan Homesteader wants to know, Danny wonder, how do you keep your energy level up? Look at this face. This face is tired. It's wore out. It is aging bad. We don't have any energy.
Well, by the end of the day, we're pretty much done. We can sit around and answer questions and things like that, and that's about the extent of what we get done after hours.
Yeah, right.
But we're hoping that Zoltan will make a little bit of difference. And Zoltan is what I'm going to be calling him, but his real name, get this, folks, his name is Danny.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have 2 Dannys. It's like everybody that comes here is named Danny. So you'll hear us calling him Zoltan all the time.
Yeah, we're going to call him by Spanish. He wants us to use his...
I think it's a Hungarian
name, I'm sorry. Zoltan is his Hungarian name. But like Wanda said, his name is Danny, and there's going to be so many Dannys around here, we're not going to know what to do with it, really.
Okay, we had, somebody wants to know about the wooden spoons. Right now, Danny's bandsaw is broken.
My bandsaw blade broke, so I haven't been able to cut out any
wooden spoons
and to work with them. So as soon as I get new bandsaw blades, I'll be selling my wooden spoons again.
We'll put them up on the Etsy store probably within a week or 2, but we've got to get some blades first. And
Okie Rob wants to put the Etsy link back up on this web page.
Yes. Okay, that's great. Okie Rob's helped with that pretty much.
Yeah.
We will get it back up on there. And somebody asked about something else and I forgot. Okay, you'll have to. The seeds are on Etsy.
Donna. Okay, she said she just checked and they are there. Okay.
I don't know how many still left, so I will go back and check.
Okay.
So we're going to have Zoltan here, and he's going to be helping out and learning a few things. And
yeah, we're going to be kind of teach him. And then the great thing about it is I used to speak Spanish pretty well, but over the years, it has diminished. And do we have any people on our channel tonight who is our moderators?
Yes.
Okay, so y'all just keep an eye on
we have somebody showing out.
Yeah, we got people using language.
Yes, anyway, moderators, please can you? Thank you. Richard got it.
Okay, so Zoltan is going to be helping refresh me with my Spanish, and I'm going to be helping him with his English.
Yes.
So it's going to be kind of a thing here, and plus he's going to be helping us with our YouTube because he has his own YouTube channel also. We're going to be bringing some Spanish people from his websites into ours, and we'll be taking our website, putting it into the Spanish people, and we're hoping that you know, we can be able to get this done and get it done efficiently. And thank y'all. Thank you, Weetree, for these trolls.
Thanks, Linda, for helping us too a little bit here. We appreciate that.
Yeah, because I mean, I don't, you know, trolls don't really bother me. It's just that it's sad that people are such losers in life that they have to go from channel to channel and do this kind of stuff.
Okay, so gardening channels.
Gardening channels. We want to talk about some of the gardening channels that Wanda and I watch.
Number one, that we have looked, before we ever started YouTube, if Danny wanted to look something up, it was the old
Alabama gardener. I went to this guy because he's an older gentleman. He's extremely knowledgeable, and all of his videos is about gardening. Because I'll be honest with you, when I went back to our homesteading network, and I did a month back on everybody, and I actually saw very few people that had any gardening videos.
Let me mention this. I don't know how to say your name. R-A-D, whatever. I flip so fast. We do take women wolfers, and so if you're interested, you would have to just send me an email at info@deepsouthhomestead.com.
Yeah.
So we will take women.
Yeah, because Wanda needs help too, not just me.
Lots of help. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm the one that looks like I need help. I know, but she.
Yeah. But the old Alabama gardener has such interesting, I mean, his techniques are all old school. If you are looking for gardening tips, and I'm talking some of the best gardening tips there is around, he knows how to plant anything.
Yeah, he does. I mean, that's what I love about him. And I keep going back, and I don't always comment on his channel, but I just keep going back and watching, and he's not organic. And if a life-changing event takes place, you're not going to be organic either. You're going to be trying to do whatever you do to grow anything. And I just try to learn from him. Now, the other one that I watch on a pretty regular basis is Hollis and Nancy. If you are an urban homesteader and you want to know about growing stuff, Hollis and Nancy is your channel. I'm going to tell you, because these people, Hollis knows his stuff in the urban setting. You know what I mean? And he knows how to do it in a way that that doesn't mess up with the look of the property and all this kind of stuff.
The property looks nice. It's not like overgrown or anything. He's got everything laid out. And what we really like is that they produce enough food to keep them going. They're not producing 2 tomatoes and 3 carrots. Hollis and Nancy produce lots of food in a small area. And this is what most of you need to do if you're in a small area.
If you got a small area,
them out, because I'm seeing lots of people love Hollis and Nancy. Yeah, they're really, really good people, and they do a great job in a small area.
They do a great job in a small area. And one thing that we look for is we look for people in different parts of the country.
Yes.
Because we like to compare it to ours. Now, old Alabama gardeners over here in Alabama, Hollis and Nancy's up in Virginia. So that's a pretty good span. I like to watch and see how things work differently for them. You know, their techniques, and even for us. And one of the other guys,
Empty Hammock said he thought he was our favorite channel. Well, you are, and we're.
But when it comes to videos and editing,
Empty Hammock's the guy.
You're the man. You know, that's the way I look at it. You're the man.
If we got anybody that's gonna beat Empty Hammock editing, I don't
think there's anybody gonna beat Hammock in his editing. I mean, if they are, I haven't met them yet.
And we're waiting on our trip back now. You got to come back again.
Yeah, we're waiting on our documentary to be done, so we're preparing for that.
We're getting ready.
Okay. Another one that as a matter of fact, I was on the phone with this guy till 11 o'clock last night.
I went to bed, guys.
Wanda went on to bed, and that's Eric from Life in the Farmland. I love Eric's channel because Eric shows his garden. He shows what he's growing. He shows his soil. He tells all about the tests that he runs on his soil. He talks about his farm animals. I mean, Eric is really, really a good channel to watch if you're up in the Minnesota area up that way. And yes, Donna, Pinetar and Robin is another one of mine that I watch. I've watched Pinetar since the beginning.
Yes, Pinetar and Robin's one of them that we wanted to mention because they do a lot of gardening, and Danny was watching those two before I even started watching.
Yeah, before we even was YouTubers.
Yeah, he watched.
I was watching them before we were YouTubers.
And that's another one that we wanted to mention. But Life in Farmland, Eric ordered some of our seeds.
Yes.
And so he's going to be planting corn, and we're expecting a great Life in Farmland video next year.
Next year, we're hoping to see Danny corn growing in Minnesota. That's if it grows 14 feet tall here, as rich as his soil look, it ought to be 20 feet tall there. You know what I mean? I gave Eric all the instructions on how to plant it and how to get it up fast and how to get it going. Because Eric is going to be putting out a video about that here in a little while, so we're kind of looking forward to that.
And
another one.
Oh, that was your shout out too.
Yes, Eric in the Farmland is my shout out because I mean I'm telling y'all, if you've never watched Eric in the and Life in the Farmland, you need to go check his channel out because the guy is fantastic with everything he puts up. I'm envious of his firewood. He's got like an acre of firewood.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And like the prettiest soil I've ever seen.
His dirt looks like you could just lay down and just roll in it. You know, it's just
really nice.
Beautiful. Now, Eric does conventional farming like we do. That's one of the reasons I watch him.
And that's one of the things they talked about last night.
That is one of the things we talked about last night. Now, there are other methods of gardening, and one of them is back to Eden.
Mm-hmm.
Now, personally, back to Eden doesn't work here. I tried it. I put all the wood chips down. I did like a 4-inch deep bed of wood chips on the ground to get started. And 2 weeks later, I had termites so bad that I had to get those wood chips off of my property and just get them out of here because the termites just took the whole thing over, you know. And then fire ants came in behind that, and we just had to get it all off the property.
Anytime you put any kind of wood down anywhere here, you're going to have fire ants and you're going to have termites.
If it's not treated, within 3 to 4 days, it's got termites in it. It's gone. Because we live in such a sandy soil in this area here. But now, if you are interested in Back to Eden and it works for you, then I always watch Starry Hilder. I've spoken with Starry several times. Starry and I have a lot of the same physical issues with our bodies, and she and I have chatted back and forth about that.
Starry does a great, she's off-grid, and she does a great job with the Back to Eden.
She does a fantastic job.
And she raises a good bit of food there. And
she shows the process. That's what I like about her and Mr. Hilder. They show digging in the dirt. They show how they work the place. They show how they lay everything out. Mm-hmm. You know, I really like how they companion plant all their stuff. If a wild or a rogue seed comes up, they don't pull it out of the garden. They just let it go. They overwinter their peppers in the house and different things. Starry is just one of my favorite off-gridders as far as gardening is concerned because she shows a lot of gardening stuff. Now, when it comes to someone else doing the Back to Eden gardens, that is this girl. This girl is just I love this girl, man. Patara from Appalachian Homestead.
She has got it going on.
This girl's got it going on. If you hadn't seen anything this week, you need to back up and watch her videos this week.
Yeah, she is cooking outside for 1 month.
For 1 month.
And she's also still canning.
Yep.
She's still doing her gardening. She shows, that's what I like about her Back to Eden. She shows step by step too.
She does. She shows her garden.
She has a beautiful, and she shows you. If she's got weeds in the garden, she shows you she has weeds in her Back to Eden garden.
Yes.
And she does a great job, but there's not very many weeds. I mean, I don't know why she said that was weeds.
She'll pull up 1 or 2 out of the whole garden. And her tomatoes are just, oh, God, they're to die for. I mean, they're just beautiful. And her videos the past week about being able to live off the land and live off of her food storage and stuff like that. Patara is, as far as I'm concerned, is just tops in all that area. You know, I mean,
she is using her food storage, whether it's something she bought or something she canned or something fresh. She's mixing it all up. She's showing you a variety and how to cook every day outside in the heat. Yep. I mean, she's probably right now hitting 100 up there.
Yeah.
And she's still cooking outside.
She's still got that wood stove going.
To prove that it can be done.
Well, if her life-changing event happens, she's just trying to show people what you have to do to survive it, you know. And yes, Donna, actually, Patara makes me feel inferior a lot of times, and I have lived off the land my whole life, but yet this girl is just
she's rocking it right
she's rocking right now. Yeah.
She's just rocking it. Now, Edward Turner says she rocks. Yeah. She really does. And so if you're doing back to eating and you need a little bit of encouragement, go to Patara or go to Starry
Hilder.
They both, and there's other people. There's lots of people I've seen doing.
Yeah, we just don't have time to mention everybody, but these are just some of our favorites.
These are people that we check on a pretty regular basis. And then I found a new channel that I want to give my shout out to today. And I'm not sure if she's even on here. I haven't, the comments are passing so fast, but I was looking for Danny's sweet potato book that he's been writing. I was looking to back up some facts and see things and see how other people did it. And I looked through video after video after video of sweet potatoes, and I'm gonna tell y'all, some people just don't have a clue when it comes to how to do sweet potatoes.
Right.
And when I finally found one girl that did, I was just ecstatic because she was just really, really good. Yep. She's got sweet potatoes, planting the slip. She's got planting the potatoes. She's got cooking with them. And I just thought she was awesome. And her name is Wendi Phan, Phan, pronounced Phan.
Phan, yeah.
And Wendi has a great channel that shows all types of unusual. If you're into unusual things, go check her out. And I even tried this week. Now she cooked. She is from China. She's got. I mean, I don't know if she lived in China or if her relatives do.
I don't know.
But she is. She has Chinese descent. You know. And she cooked the sweet potato vines
and the stems and the leaves.
Yeah, the stems and the leaves. So I had to duplicate that, and y'all going to get to see a video shortly of Danny and I eating Asian style.
Yeah.
Okay. This was pretty cool, and so Wendi Phan is my shout out. Yeah. And I'd like for you guys to check her out because she. I mean, I couldn't even pronounce a lot of the things that she grows.
Right.
But it looked fantastic. She has a beautiful garden, and I really like to watch her. She's got a bubbly attitude, and you know, I just wanted to give her a shout out because of that, because she did do the sweet potatoes and stuff just like I was looking for, and that helped me to back up what I was looking for.
Another one of my people that I watch is Boss of the Swamp.
Yes.
I am a religious watcher of JC because he not only shows everything he does hands-on. The guy shows his gardens. He showed his garden here the other day that
Patara made it. Yes, girl.
Oh, great. We're doing a shout-out with you, girl.
She says, I can't get the stew, but see the comments.
Oh, that's okay.
At the stream. Okay, she can see the comments. I see.
Yeah, that's what we were telling them, girl, that you're one of the most awesome people when it comes to the back-to-eating stuff. You and Starry Hilder are two of our favorites in that area, and we love what you're doing with the wood stove, cooking out, and just showing people how to live off the land, and what you have canned and what's fresh and all this kind of stuff. We look every day to see if you've got a video up.
Yes, if I see it on Facebook first, and I tell Danny, and we have to go check it out. And
yep, Doug, I did. Yeah. I talked her up.
Yes, and so we also see a lot of people are showing Patara a lot of love right here.
That's it. Y'all show that girl some love because she's out in the heat doing this. And look, Wanda and I did this last year before we were YouTubers.
Yes.
And I'm going to tell you, that's why we have so much respect for her, because we did this last year, and it was a job.
It'll floor you, believe me, because we made it 1 month, not going to town, except if it was an emergency or we had to buy something. We didn't spend any money that we could. We just saved every dime.
Yep.
We only paid the bills that month and bought.
That's it.
We did not buy any groceries.
Buy no groceries.
After the first of the month, we went and bought the necessary whatever, and that was it. We had to eat what we had, and we had to live on.
And if we didn't have it, we did without.
We did without.
We had
made ourselves do without the rest of the
We had to do some sort of an alternative.
Yes.
And that's why we're watching Patara to see
by the end of the month.
By the end of the month, what she's going to come up with, because actually she's realized, just like we did, that when you start cooking a meal in the morning time, you got to start thinking about when you're cooking that meal, how you can use that meal to work throughout the whole day.
Yes.
Because you got jobs that's got to be done. You can't be just standing in front of a wood stove in 100-degree temperature all day long.
Yeah, and they were asking that we heard of Blake Kirby. Yes, I found Blake Kirby's channel about 2 weeks ago, and I like Blake Kirby. I've been watching it too.
But yeah, getting back to Boss of the Swamp, Boss, he shows all his gardening stuff. Now, he doesn't put up videos all the time, but when he does put one up, it's loaded with content. And,
yes,
and that's what I love about his.
And he just does a bang up job with it.
He does a fantastic job, and that's one of the things that with Wanda and I, we try to learn from people like Starry, Patara, the Boss, all these people like that. Even Eric at Life in the Farmland last night, I told Eric, I said, I watch your videos religiously, and last night there was a diamond in the rough in one of your videos. And something I never thought about, and that was he was cutting corn off, or his wife was cutting corn off the cob, and she was using a bunt pan, and the cob was sitting perfectly in the center of that bunt pan, and the corn was just falling off in the bunt pan. And I said, oh my God, how have I not thought about that?
And Danny was going, I can't believe that, so he had to tell Eric.
Yeah.
But Okie Rob.
Okie Rob is I love Okie Rob because he does the same thing. The guy has a big garden, like we do big gardens. He has a big garden. He shows getting out, working the soil. His soil is a lot like ours. It's not very good soil.
He's the one with the tractor too.
Yeah, he's the one with the Cub and the Super C or Super 8, which I love those tractors. I would give anything to own one of them. But I love Okie Rob because he shows his garden, and he shows the successes, he shows the failures, he shows what's going on. And he sent a message to me this week that he told me, he said the animals have come in and literally destroyed everything he's got. The coyotes has eaten his watermelons up. Some animal got in his muscadines, and something's eaten his fruit off his trees. And I think I sent him a message back and told him that's why we keep live traps and steel traps set here year-round. We catch whatever year-round.
Yes, people are saying that's a good way to bunt pan with the knife. Yes.
Yes.
I mean, we had never thought of it, so we're just thankful that Eric's wife did. I think her name's Jenna.
Jenna. That's why you go and watch everybody's channels, because even though we all do the same thing, not everybody does it the exact same way, and there's lots of diamonds in the rough in everybody's videos.
Yeah, and we only have a couple more that we want to talk about right quick, and one of them is Road to the Farm.
Yes, Melanie.
She and Dirtpatch both have such a great way of doing things, and Melanie takes and shows her garden.
Yes.
And she shows what she's doing.
They do the back to Eden too, I think.
She does the back to Eden.
They do the back to Eden. Her and Julianne both
do
back to Eden, yes.
And they were two of them that do the back to Eden. So if you've got a few interesting things to look at there, we give you a variety of people to go find what they're doing and see if something they say or do works for you. And the only other one we had to mention was one of our friends that was here this week, which will lead into
the other ones here, and that was Daniel from the Arms family. He was here visiting with us this past week on a trip to Florida. We enjoyed Daniel being here. Daniel, we like him because Daniel does a garden also. He does the greenhouse stuff, and he shows his successes. He shows his failures. And I love to watch him because he actually gets out and works in the dirt. That's what Wanda and I are after when we look at channels. We want to see people who don't just sit around and talk about what they do. They get out, they get their hands dirty, they show what they do to the soil, they show how they put their plants in the soil, they show what time of the year they do it, and then they give you a little bit of history on why they do it. I mean, that's what Wanda and I look for
in a gardening
when we do channels.
Now, we're not saying that all the other channels don't have something going on.
Right.
But we were talking about gardening channels right now. And a lot of people do gardening, but
Right.
that's not their main thing. And even some of these we talked about, that's not their main thing.
Right.
But I went back and looked at videos for a month to see who put up a gardening video in the last month. And to be honest with you, most people didn't have a gardening video.
Most people in our Homestead network did not even have a video up to do with gardening during gardening season. And that's what kind of threw Wanda and I off, and it kind of disappointed us, to be honest with you.
We were just wondering, you know, and so we were looking for gardening videos because that's all we do. And so when we don't really pay much attention to the others, we thought they were.
Yeah.
And we do watch the channels, but we weren't concentrating on gardening. And once we started that, we were going, wait, now who's doing gardening? And yes, Doug and Stacy, I don't even know. I've seen their
I've seen you raise beds. Yeah, I saw you raise beds.
And last year, I know I saw corn. I do remember Doug had a bad thing with corn.
The hail destroyed their crop.
That's what really got me with Doug and Stacy. I was sitting there watching out the window with him, watching the corn, and I'm going, oh.
Yeah, we watched the hail just destroy everything.
And then we watched our own corn
I watched my corn, go down.
This year, so it was kind of tough. But yeah, there's a lot of channels that have a lot of things, and they don't all do gardening.
No.
So you have to go back and look at the videos and pick and choose where they're at and hunt their gardening videos.
Yeah.
And so we had just wanted to bring y'all a few of our favorite channels. That's not everybody.
That's not everybody we watch.
Most of these that are on this side over here, almost, you know, anybody that puts up any content, most of them do have some kind of gardening going on.
Yeah, they do garden. They just don't have any equipment to show their gardening.
Yeah.
Or have a channel to show it on.
You know what I'm saying? Most of you don't put up videos, but some of you do, and we have checked out a lot of these channels that I see. If I can go to and see a video, I try to watch them. And I know somebody mentioned they did a video and did a shout out to me with the cookbook a while ago.
Yeah.
And I can't remember what the name was, so if you'll send me a link on info@deepsouthhomestead.com. If you put up some video showing our cookbook or something, I'll see it that way, because if I go back and start looking, we found shout outs from somebody this week that I didn't even know they did.
Yeah.
Just going back browsing through, because we can't get on the internet every day watching videos. We have to pick and choose our times. Hey, Zach.
Hey, boy, glad to see you made it. And yes, you do have a playlist dedicated to gardening. You're exactly right. We were going to get to you, we just hadn't made it that far yet.
Yeah, and if people have a playlist dedicated to gardening, we do too. We have a playlist. It makes it so much easier to find you guys' channels or videos if you have one dedicated to gardening. Because when we go to a channel and there's not a playlist up there that says gardening, and you've got to run back through all of the videos, it
makes it hard to find what kind of your content is. You need to be able to label everything.
Yeah.
It makes it a whole lot easier.
If you guys that have gardening videos, we'll throw them into a gardening scoop where we can mention these in later days, because there's so many good videos out there.
Okay, where are we at? Oh, we ain't even gonna make it to our videos this week. We're out of time.
We're almost fixing to send you guys over to Zach.
Send you over to watch Zach. This week we on my porch time, you know, I talked about storm watch. Thank y'all for watching that. Then I had the little piggy video where my pigs got out and we finally trapped them, and
we've got another pig video coming up.
We got another pig video coming up shortly. I just built them a new feeder system, and they have just went ballistic. They had fits with that thing.
The lay. Mention the lay.
The lay thing y'all saw, me turning the spindle on, I gotta hurry, was in my dad's shop. This lay has not been used in probably 20 or 25 years. We went in the shop was infested with wasp nests and everything.
There was no light.
There was no lights in there, so we had
Doug and Stacy can appreciate that.
Yeah, they can appreciate that. We had to get there at 6 o'clock in the morning because the thing is sitting out in a broad open field and the heat would have been so bad in there. And while we were doing it, the wasps were trying to bite us. So, I mean, it was...
I was darting from the wasp, and I was trying to hold a flashlight and the camera, and it was kind of tough. But we managed to get it done, and so it's not his lay, and he
Yeah.
has not used a lay in
I hadn't used a
several
lay in
years.
probably 20 or 25 years.
So we were, he was just picking it up, and plus all the tools weren't there. He was having to pick and choose the
Yeah,
tools.
I was looking for the right tools. They weren't laying there. They were laying all over the shop. I didn't have time to hunt them, so.
So he did the best he could, and Melinda was really thankful for her chair, and so, it was pretty cool. And then we had the pears, and I know a lot of you have mentioned on the pears. So we put that out so that you would know pears from picking.
How to pick a pear. That's the reason we did that video. So many people do not know how to pick a pear and how to ripen a pear. Pears ripen from the inside out. And if you leave them on the tree till they get soft, they're ruined. So you have to, the way to pick them is just gently lift up on them. If they break loose real freely, then the pears are ready to pick, and you bring them in, you put them in the refrigerator for a couple of days to actually shock them. Is what it does, is it shocks them. And then you take them out, and in 3 to 4 days, they're usually ripened. The best way to tell when they're really ripe is you put your thumb at the top by the stem and put a little pressure on it. If it gives in just a little bit, then the pear is actually ready to eat.
Yeah, and they're talking about the scobies and doing kombucha.
Yeah.
Farmer Mimo, you can't have too many kombucha scobies, because when I did it 20 years ago, I used the fish tank bowls, the little goldfish bowls. I kept 6 of them going at one time. And when they came off, I threw 6 away and kept 6. And so you can have way too many, but they come in handy for chicken feed and stuff like that. If you have chickens, give your scobies to the chickens.
No, we do not soak our pears in the lemon water for any length of time. We just left them in the lemon water while we were cutting them up so that oxidation wouldn't take place and it turned brown.
Probably, while we're
okay, we got 3 minutes.
20 minutes in the lemon water.
Yeah, about 15 minutes in the lemon water.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah.
That would be
okay, we're going to wrap it up, y'all. This has been our week for gardening and garden talk and garden channels and stuff like that. Shout outs to people that we really like. We appreciate y'all for watching. We want to just let you know that we love you. And we're gonna say a prayer for all y'all tonight, and then we're gonna let y'all get over there and see Zach and what he's got going on
at an American Homestead.
American Homestead. Father, we thank you for the day you've given us. We just want to tell you how much we love and appreciate you for giving us the life here that you've given us. And Father, I thank you for this YouTube channel, and I thank you for all these people who take the time out to come and to watch and to listen. And Father, I pray that you will bless us so that we'll be able to be a blessing to them, Lord. And that is our desire and our hope for this life, Lord, is to reach out and to glorify the kingdom of heaven, and at the same time to bless other people with the knowledge that you've blessed us with here now. Lord, I know there's a lot tonight that may be hurting. They may be hurting physically, spiritually, emotionally, financially. Lord, there's ways that the old devil just comes in and he wants to destroy our lives. And I pray that you put a hedge about all of these people here who are with us tonight. And Father, keep them protected, and I plead the protection of the blood of Calvary over each one of them's life tonight, Lord. Just bless us and help us to have a peaceful night and be able to rest. And I pray that everybody will be able to get to go over and watch Zach and enjoy his channel tonight, Lord. I just want to ask this in thy name. Amen. Okay, y'all, we love you. We got just a few seconds left. Y'all go ahead and get over and watch Zach. We're going to get on off where you got time to get over there to his channel.
Thank you, Appalachia. And we're keeping up with you.